Hey, what's up YouTubers, Lee John Blackmore here at Super Easy Guitar. So this week we're going to talk about the difference between the pentatonic and the blues scale and how you can use it, not necessarily to play blues, but just to make your soloing more extensive and be able to play over different parts of the fretboard. I'm also going to explain to you how you can change between the major and minor, which is actually what I was doing there. I was using one scale. I was just using the A blues scale, but then I was playing C major over it, and because they're relative, they work together. So let's zoom in and I'll explain a little bit closer. So let's take a look at the differences between the normal pentatonic minor and the blues pentatonic, okay? So I'm going to do this in the key of A. So you should know this already. It goes 5th fret on the bottom E string, so that's your normal minor pentatonic. Now let's have a look at the blues scale. So you can see it's very similar. So pentatonic, you know, it's just 5 main notes in the scale, whereas the blues scale has this extra note, this passing note in the middle. So we're going to go 5, 8 on the bottom E string, then on the A string we're going to go 5, 6, 7. Now notice I use my second finger there. Now the thing about this passing note here is kind of, you know, we don't want to stay on that note, hence passing note, because it sounds wrong, right? When you pass it, it makes more sense, okay? So here we go, 5, 8, 5, 6, 7. On the D string, 5, 7. On the G string, 5, 7, 8. B string, 5, 8. And top E string, 5, 8. Okay, and we can play that in reverse. Obviously, you can do it in different keys. You could do it in the key of E if you just know this E pentatonic. So we're just going to change that up a bit. So it's 0-3, 0-1, 2, 0-2, 0-2, 3, 0-3, 0-3. So that would be in the key of E. So all we're doing, we're just putting a little chromatic in between the pentatonic. So you could just keep on going with that, all right? So what I was doing at the beginning, I was playing A minor. Now also over the A minor is the blues scale. That's going to work as well in A. So it's the A minor blues scale. That's going to work in the key of E as well. No matter what position you do it in, it's always going to be the same. So let's go to G, okay? So G minor. I'm using exactly the same notes. But at the beginning, you saw me going A minor, then I was going up to C. So the reason being is because A minor and C are relative chords. That means they share the same notes pretty much, all right, except one's sad and one's happy. So no matter what situation you're playing them in, they're always going to work together, all right? But I was just using the pentatonic minor or the blues minor over both chords. So the reason why that works, as I said, is because they share the same notes. The only difference I made to make it sound happy, I started on the second note of the pentatonic. So instead of starting on A, which is our root, I started on the second note, which is C, which is a really easy way to work out the relative major from whatever minor you're working on. So if we were in G, the second note of the minor pentatonic is going to be A sharp, or B flat, however you want to look at it. So they're always going to work together, G minor and A sharp major. Going back to our first example, A minor. But then if I play the C and then start the pentatonic on the C note, suddenly it sounds happy, right? I'm playing exactly the same notes, but because I start on the second note in the scale, it works, okay? It sounds happy. So it changes the way you hear it. So here's the A minor or the blues. I'll play the same thing, but now I'll just skip that first note. See, it sounds happier. So that's a cool way of trying to work out the major and minor. So say you're in a major key, say you're in D. I can actually play B minor, because if you look, if we just go 3 frets down, then we've got our B, and you can play the minor pentatonic over D. If you start on the second note, it's going to sound happy. We can go down to B minor. So I'm not strictly playing the blues scale and the pentatonic. You know, you can mess it up a bit, you can mess around with it, find those extra notes in between. It's all about what sounds cool to your ear, okay? It's about what works. So that's just a little trick of finding the major and minor, and exactly the same works with the blues scale. Now, there's a couple of different positions that I use to play the blues scale. So the first one I've shown you, we'll stick to A because it's nice and easy. So that's like the first position, and you see it's all locked in one position. We just stay at the same place on the fretboard. So whether we're playing A minor or C major, we can stay there, okay? We can stay in that position. But sometimes, you know, you see guitarists going all over the place. And how do they find their way around? Well, there's actually a little trick to it, and it's kind of like following paths. You have to look at it as a little kind of shape, or almost like a scale, but it's a shape that you follow your ear. Let's say C major, and you still wanted it to sound major. You saw me doing that, right? So all I'm doing, with my first finger, I'm moving up 2 frets. Then I do this chromatic. So that's just 8, 10, 11, 12. Then I go 10, 12 on the next string. So and then 10 on the D. So far. Now let's go back to the other way I was playing it. Exactly the same notes, right? But then what comes next? So you can just find those notes, you keep going. So let me walk you through that. So we've got 8 on the bottom E, first finger up to 10, 11, 12, over to the A string, 10, 12, over to the D, 10, move to 12, 13, 14, over to the G, 12, 14, shift over to the 13th on the B, 15 on the B, 16, 17, over to the top E, 15, 17, 18, 19, that's 20. If you've got that many frets, rarely you'll see me playing up there, but that finishes, that resolves the scale. So that's all I was doing at the beginning. So I was playing the A minor down here, and then so I was just playing those two positions. Now there is a third position you can play. Now it's usually for the minor. So when we're down on the A minor blues or A minor pentatonic, they both work the same. So instead of doing it there, I start with my third finger there. So now I'm kind of moving into this slide-in position. So instead of going with my pinky, sometimes that can be a bit awkward. So I like to go down with my third finger, start on the root, which is A, go over to the A string, so it's very similar to this other one that we were doing up here, the C major, except now we're playing it over on the next strings, down low. So I'll talk you through it. So it's 5 on the bottom E, 3 on the A, move up to 5, a little chromatic, 5, 6, 7, 5 on the G string, 7, 8, 9, a little shift to 8 on the B string. So all I did then, I went 8, 10, and back over to the top E, 8, 10, 11, 12. All together. You can keep going. 15, 17, and you can come down 17 in the other position. So all I did, I come down in like that C major position. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's lesson. Please don't forget, give me the thumbs up. Check out the links below, and I'll see you again the same time next week.